We on Twitter. We're good on Twitter.
Good on Twitter.
Hmm.
Awesome. About to be good on Facebook. Bam. Got that. Live streaming YouTube for the first time, or the second time, actually. You can watch there. All right. We're on.
Let's
Let's
do
do
it.
this. Let's do this, guys. Welcome in to the Welcome Home podcast. I'm your host, Famous Garnet, and I'm joined by my co-host Q.
What it do, y'all? What it do?
And in this episode, you see it. The man, the myth, the legend, QB1 himself, Rex Specs in the building, LaNorris Sellers. Welcome to the show, my guy.
Appreciate you for having me.
Oh, man. Please. Thanks for coming on. Like, we are beyond excited for you to join us here today. And Q, we've been talking about it. I mean, it's fantastic finally getting you on, man. You've been the talk of the town since you committed to South Carolina. You know, Q was right there with the recruiting. Our guy, Sin, that's normally with us, he put us on, honestly. When it came to LaNorris Sellers and his game, I'm just saying.
Sin sent a tweet out, like, I want to say a year before you, like, committed to us. And he counted down days. He's like, day one of telling the staff, like, it's time to offer LaNorris Sellers. And he went through the entire time until you got the offer. And then when you committed, bro, it was showstopping, because if you think about it, LaNorris, you did some things that a lot of people in high school cannot do. Bro, you threw for, like, what was it, 50 touchdowns and, like, what, 2 interceptions?
Mm-hmm. Something like
that. People don't do that, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, people don't do that, bro. That's not a normal thing, man. So, kind of like, even before that, LaNorris, tell us about you, because one thing you're a quiet guy. Super cool, calm, but a quiet guy. And Gamecock Nation just want to know, man, who is LaNorris Sellers, bro?
So, I mean, y'all know I'm from Florence. I got 2 younger brothers. Born and raised in Florence. Parents was born and raised in Florence. I mean, I didn't really do much. I played soccer. Started playing that when I was 5. Before I started playing football. Then when I turned like 9 or 10, I just started solely focusing on football. Started back up again in high school. My younger brothers pretty much did the same track. My youngest brother Malik played basketball. He didn't play soccer, but Jaden, he played soccer as well. Stopped around the same time I stopped. Didn't really, yeah, like I said, didn't really do much. Was always in the house, usually with family more than anything. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much all I do. If I'm not with family, I'm probably just at home chilling.
Just a normal guy.
Normal guy, man.
Just a normal guy, man.
Normal country guy. Normal country guy, man.
You know, and that kind of falls in the parameters, honestly, of Superman, right? Because I'm just saying, bro, Superman was a regular old dude, bro. I'm just saying, bro.
I agree. I agree. And so, growing up in Florence, so Florence is kind of like it's not a big city, but it's not like, a small country town.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what was it like, growing up there, and I guess being around your family a lot, because, I mean, parents born and raised there, so that means you had a ton of family in Florence, right there. So what was it like growing up around, cousins and all those other different things, man?
So usually it's just like for holidays and stuff, we'd go to them or they just come to us. Like you said, spend a lot of time with family. Anytime there's football games, you'll watch the games or whatever. We'll cook, grill. During halftime, we just go outside and play football during the halftime. As soon as it came back on, we right back in the house. Traveling with them. Pretty much, I mean, it's not much to say, honestly.
I feel you.
But it's not much. I mean, there's stuff to do in Florence. It's like bowling, the skating ring, movie theaters and stuff like that. It's not nothing like crazy to do. But I mean, I had a good childhood, so I mean, thankful for that.
Okay. And you grew up watching football. Were you a Gamecock fan?
I was not.
I
was not.
Oh man, who'd you grow up watching?
I mean, just like every other kid, Oregon.
Hey, that's fair. That's a fair point, man. So you played Oregon on the college football game.
I did all the time.
Oh man,
the uniforms are fresh, bro. You had like 50 different uniforms to pick out. I get it. Bro.
I got it.
I'm not hating.
I got it, man. That is interesting, man. That is true, though. That is true, man. The uniform combo between them, UCF was another one I love using their uniform combo. So that's good. So now you're transitioning with football. You're in high school. Obviously, you got committed to Syracuse early on, and then here comes the hometown team. When you had to come down to that decision, LaNorris, what made you be like, hey, I'm gonna stay home and rep for not just my city but for my state?
So it was really the fact that it was getting close to the point where I had to like actually like start packing my stuff and getting ready to leave. And it was like, dang, do I really actually want to go 12 hours away from home?
It's a long way,
And,
man.
It's cold, bro. I
It's
got
cold
family
up
from
there.
Syracuse, man. It
yeah,
is cold up there, my man. The
and it's gonna
winters are
be
different.
yeah, it's gonna be right there in the middle of it in January, and then it's 12 hours from home. I've like I said, like never been away from family for an extended period of time, so it was just like that would have been rough. And then I don't know, the coaches like Beamer and all them, they was always there. They
Yeah,
just, I mean, I just was never offered, but they was always there. Like we talked and everything, so it was just like, well, I could play SEC football and also be close to family. You know what I'm saying? But I could also have the opportunity to go to New York and play football. But I mean, I'd rather be closer to home. If I'm gonna play
Hmm.
football, I would rather be closer to home. If that makes sense.
right.
Makes sense. Family can see you all the time, like they've been doing all that stuff, man.
Hmm.
So that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so you've gone from there. Now you've committed to South Carolina, and you came in a class. Whew, Dylan Stewart is your classmate. Tree Babalati, Josiah Thompson. Uh, Wait, no, that's not your class. No,
That's
no,
what
no,
you're asking.
that's
Trees in
your
my
after you.
class.
Trees
Yeah,
in your
Yeah,
class. Yeah, you
yeah.
had Tree, Marquis. You had
Jalen.
Jumbo.
Baugh. You had you had some guys in the trenches with you.
Yeah.
You had Desmond Umanzulu with
Hmm.
you that comes from up north. So when that class comes in and you're looking around the room when you have that freshman class that comes in with you, and Jalen Kilgore, guy we had on this pod as well. When you look at that class of Norris, were y'all, as y'all talked and y'all bonded, did y'all realize how important y'all's class was to the success of our program?
Yeah, I think like because the first week we got here, I think that was right after the like Notre Dame game and all that. So, and the thing was, Beamer just wanted to install in us like the culture that he was trying to build at USC. So,
Mhm.
me and my class, I think we met once or twice a week, just us, and we all stayed together at
Mm.
650. So we met all the time. We talked all the time. Like we had group chats and stuff. It seemed like every time you go up to watch film or something, like our class was there. So it's pretty much like we knew and we was ready to take on that challenge. But I think we always knew as soon as we signed, like it was just like a switch.
Mm.
Now, LaNorris coming in, you're behind Spencer Rattler, one of the best quarterbacks to come through South Carolina. Statistically, the things that he did on the field were it was outstanding. Came from originally from Oklahoma. Things didn't go well there the way he wanted to. Transfers to South Carolina. Finds a whole new world right at South Carolina. What was it like working with him and behind him last season for you? And now with him just getting drafted to New Orleans Saints, he's the first quarterback to get drafted in quite a while at South Carolina. So
Hmm.
he's starting to start a new trend, which we're starting to see.
Hmm.
Obviously, LaNorris, a lot of people think that's going to be you here in a couple of years as well. But talk about working with Spencer, how that was for you last season.
I was fully willing to like sit behind and learn from Spencer, honestly, just because of the success that he's had like from like previous years. So I mean, I didn't have a problem with learning from Spence. He was always confident. I tell everybody that asked me about him. He was always confident. He knew the system. He was like willing to work, workouts and everything, extra work up there at meetings. I mean, he was a cool guy. You can just talk to him. It's not just about like he's not just like a guy that's really to himself. Like he can talk to everybody. He would talk to everybody, but you can talk to him about anything. We hung out outside of football and everything. So I really like Spencer.
Yeah, see.
When you're in those meeting rooms, when you were with Spencer, and because we're not in there with you guys, is he a guy that's like a real brilliant, like I got to break it down, I got to do this, like he was really precise with what he was doing, or what kind of person was he when it came to film, when it came to all those different things?
He was really locked in, I'll say. He wanted to know like not only what we're doing, but why we're doing it, or
Mm.
like the best ways to do it. Like he would ask questions all the time, and if he was confused with something, he wouldn't be afraid to stop me and be like, "Wait, I'm not confused about this. Like can we go through this again, or can we get this rep again? Like he was those type of guys that was always locked in and wanted it to be perfected.
Okay.
Nice.
I like that. I like that. So now, LaNorris, now Spencer has left. You had Xavier Legay, who had an amazing season last year. But you have those two guys, but we also go 5-7 last year. So kind of walk us through, LaNorris, what things you saw and what helped you grow with a season like that. Because when you think of it, LaNorris, even moving on to the next level, a lot of guys have not experienced tough times all the time. Like if I come from Georgia, well, if Georgia goes undefeated, they haven't experienced a loss. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So now they're moving to the pros, and not everybody adjusts well from that. So what did you see not only for yourself, not only for the room, but you know, in general, what did you see uh for that season? Like what did that season do for you? What through your eyes, what did you see when that 5-7 season hit?
I mean, I would say personally, just like not just speaking on the season, but just speaking in general, like you just can't let one bad thing lead to other bad things. Like if one bad thing happened, you gotta
Mm-hmm.
keep moving on. You gotta keep playing on the same accord. You gotta stay on the same page. You can't start pointing fingers and get mad at each other. Like you're still a team. I mean, you lose a game, you still got 11 more to play. So it's like you can't just let bad things keep happening. You can't let it be a domino effect because at the end, if you let that happen, then everything just gonna crumble on itself.
Mm, mm.
Yeah. No, it's that, and that's 100% accurate, man. And that's the thing in life too. I mean, that's mentality. And if you don't have the right mentality, it's going to crumble. We've seen it at South Carolina before with a previous regime.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, LaNorris. I mean, this team was not far from winning a few more games last season. It's not like South Carolina
Yeah.
got blown out every game, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
The games were winnable.
Mm-hmm.
It's just some things just didn't click, and that's fine. That's football, and that comes with learning, and it comes with mentality. It comes with the C word culture.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing with South Carolina that a lot of these other teams they struggle with.
Yeah.
You hear
Agreed.
about like serious player locker room issues. You
Mm-hmm.
you hear about it so much, especially with NIL becoming a thing now, and the portal being such a big thing. You've got guys coming in and taking jobs that weren't originally expecting to lose. There are so many things going on in this day and age that the culture that word is so massive. And to see what South Carolina does and what they've done with Shane Beamer and the rest of the coaching staff, I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, you start from any part of the staff, and you can work your way all the way. You work your way all the way down. I mean, it's phenomenal what South Carolina does as far as the staff goes. And most recently, we brought in Sean Elliott. South Carolina is very familiar with Sean Elliott. The fans are very familiar
Mm-hmm.
with Sean Elliott. What has been your run-ins with Sean Elliott so far working with him? What have you thought about with him?
He's high energy all the time. He's a funny guy. He's always loud. It's just his energy is always there. You never see him like down or anything. He's already like high motor, like just always ready to go.
I like that.
That's
I like
Coach
that.
Elliott, man. He hasn't changed, man. He has not changed in over
Nah.
15 years. He's
I
the
love
same
it.
guy.
I love it. LaNorris, what
Man.
did you see from leaders last year? What was leadership like last year? Going through tough times, that usually shows you who true leaders are. So what was
Mhm.
leadership like last year when you're looking at, a Spencer Rattler, you had Tonka, you had, Boogie, you had those guys there. What did leadership look like in the locker room, man?
Just always like uplifting, like, hey, come on, like just like I said earlier, if something bad happens, just like, hey, don't worry about it. Like next play mentality, big next play mentality. Like, hey, let's keep going. Let's not worry about it. And like I said, with my class coming in, like those guys really stepped up to help us, like get us used to the system. Like all of us didn't have cars, or some of the people in our class didn't have cars. So it's like if people needed rides, it was like, hey, come on, like I'll take you, or let me know, I'll pick you up, or I would take some guys to the facility with me, take them back home. Like whatever we needed, like they was there for us, and they helped us come along. And then like even the older guys, they like held each other accountable. So it's like if Boogie was down or something, or Tonka was down, Boogie be there to pick Tonka up, or if Tonka was down, then he like it's just vice versa. Then Spence, as always, and Xavier in the receiver room. It was like they all had a certain like thing they had to do for that specific room.
I love that. I love that. I
Specific
love that.
jobs. Yeah.
I love that. And so now you've gone past that. And now you guys are the leaders.
Mhm.
So now it's time for you guys to step up. And so what have you seen from leadership on your end this year when it came to, workouts? Because some of the things we've heard, workouts have been different, mentalities have been very different. You know, there's a lot of guys that the transfers that come in, they're buying into like, hey, okay, so this is what we got to do. This is what that looks like. Those type of things. So what have you seen yourself when it comes to those situations, LaNorris, and like the people stepping up? What does it look like now?
I mean, you just have to take it honestly. Like you have to instill it in them when they first get there. So once you build that, like you let them know whatever, then you start building that relationship with them. It gets easier to like talk to them and hold them accountable and stuff. And that's another thing that's a part of like the culture, as we say. Um, you can't hold anybody accountable that you don't have a relationship with because it's like I don't know you, so why would I listen to you? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta
Right.
get to know them, whatever. All the transfers. So that was a big thing, and it's honestly like all the time is not comfortable either. So you got to be like comfortable being uncomfortable, like holding guys accountable or telling like what to do or what they expect and things like that. So I mean, if you instill in them day first and then like they start buying in as time goes on. So since January till now, it's like everybody's pretty much I feel like has bought onto the system or whatever. So I mean, it's just we got to actually go out and do it now.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
100% agree with that, and I love that, and I love that, and now you have a new class in too. So this is where the Dylan Stewart, you know, Josiah Thompson, Cam Pringle, all those guys have come in. Which Cam Pringle kind of has been around you guys a lot because he
Mhm.
would come up all the time. But you had Dylan and all those guys come in, highly rated guys, with a guy on campus with Nick Harbor, who we'll get to in a second. What have you seen from this next class? Because me and FG, we talk all the time. Funny story, Lenoris. Me and FG actually born the same day in Columbia, two different hospitals, played the same T-ball team. So we've known each other for a very long time. And so we've talked. And one thing we said, we was like 23, 24, 25, and 26 classes are going to redefine what South Carolina has done.
Mhm.
And so when you look at that 24 class, man, and beyond the talent that has come into the room, what's their mentality like, man?
It was honestly just like my class that's coming in. Like, they pretty much bought into the system quicker. They was like willing to learn, like ready to get to work or whatever. They do the same thing we did, all in 650 together, like all the freshmen. They all have group chats, all catch a ride with each other. So it's pretty much the same mindset that we had in my 23 class and 24 class. They're all close. And they just really bought into the system like immediately as soon as they got in. Like first week he was there working out. It's always rough the first week. It's a new system. Like it's
Hmm.
actually like workouts. You actually have to work out in high school. I mean, you can get away with not working out and everything,
Hmm.
especially being the type of athletes that they are, that we are. So it's like once they had to get here, they actually had to learn, get accumulated to the system. But other than that, like it's been cool. It's been fine.
I like it. I like it a lot. I like it. And so now y'all are in summer workouts, correct? And
Mhm.
then we're less than 50 days away from from Old Dominion,
Yeah.
and now it's time to get to the nitty gritty of it. So you see Shane all the time, man, and Shane's a fire up guy, like happy guy. But his press conference before the offseason started, it was different. It was a different Shane I saw, and it wasn't like a fake different. It was a I never want to sit at home again
Mhm.
type different. And is that what you guys are seeing in there? Because when he talked, he was very much, hey man, I'm pissed off.
Yeah, it was. Even from our first game back Memorial Day, it was like, all right, or not Memorial Day. As soon as he's in January, we started winning workouts. It was like, all right, I'm glad to be back, but it's no time for games. Like it's time to get back to work or whatever. He was like, I hated sitting at home watching bowl games all day with my family. Like I love my family, don't get me wrong, but I'd rather have been playing a game with y'all. That's how he was. That's how he came back in January. So
And I'm sure all y'all felt the same way.
we did.
No,
We
no
did.
one wanted to sit at home, man. I didn't want to sit at home. I said, why are we not? And especially when you see teams playing that you can beat.
Hmm.
I think that's the roughest part of it. I
Hmm.
think that was the roughest part. Like, man, I know my boys could have done this and could have done that, man. So okay, okay, okay.
Yeah. Now, LaNorris, with these newcomers coming in at wide receiver, you've had a bunch. Now, returning talent, you have a few, with Nicholas Harbor, Tayshawn, you got him coming back. You got some others as well in that wide receiver room, tight end. You got Joshua Simon that returned as well. Working with those guys, because obviously you had some guys hit the portal, and then, of course, Xavier drafted number in the first round to the Carolina Panthers. Talk about working with some of these guys. What have you seen? Like, what from you don't have to really list like too many guys out there, but just give a couple of examples as far as who stepped up here and who stepped up there, as far as maybe returners and the guys that have come from the portal that has really surprised you or maybe surprised the coaches.
Yeah, so JB and Gage, they came in the winter. Pretty much as soon as we got on campus, like they got my numbers like, hey, like when we throwing, when's the next session, when we started throwing. And then, we had Dre and D-Camp come during the summer, and it was honestly like the same thing. They all got on board quick, and the returning guys like Tashawn, Elijah, Nick and those guys, Peyton Mangrum, Luke Doty, all those guys. It was like, all right, we want something to change this year. So in order to be good, we need to put in the work that we want to be good. Because if you don't do nothing, nothing's gonna change. So it's like we got that situated and quickly, and then we had Fury come in. We had ORC were here for a couple of weeks, but then Fury came in. He was like, all right, this is what we're doing, and we're doing this different or whatever. So it's like as soon as they came in, they all had a relationship already. So they just came in, was really work, helping each other and all that, helping the young guys, bringing them along too, like Mazio and LeBron. So it's like pretty much a quick moving train with them too.
With Nick and him running track, is it true that man would, after track, would be coming in and working in the jugs and everything too?
Yeah, he was. Any chance he got, he was in there in team meetings and all that. Yeah,
man.
See that changes the narrative for a lot of people, man. I'm just saying, LaNorris is telling y'all what happened.
Because word on the street, LaNorris, you didn't hear it from me, but everybody was worried. I don't know, he's with track and all this, but I know me and FG had talked, and we talked to some people we knew, and I had heard he was on the jugs all the time, and you guys were working. And beyond that, he was at team meetings. He was doing whatever he could to balance both. And knowing that, I know the game had to slow down for Nick, because keep in mind, it had to slow down for you too, LaNorris. Like this is a whole different ball. You're playing in the Southeastern Conference. What have you seen different from Nick this year than you saw from last year going into his sophomore season?
Yeah, so just like between the offseason with him, because he didn't do football at all since like last game we played. So it was just straight track. But he was doing like catching the ball and stuff. So it's like it's coming more natural to him. Like it's not like, all right, I can't be afraid to make a mistake. It's like it's more natural to him. He's doing extra work. Like matter of fact, we probably gonna end up throwing tonight sometime. But any chance he get, he's just like in the meetings or whatever, just asking questions, just around, like being around the guys in the weight room and stuff. So
I love it.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice. Now, LaNorris, we're going to take it back real quick, and I'm going to pull the video up here. This is your first touchdown at Williams-Brice Stadium. I'm about to play this live. Get this thing going here. This is from my point of view, by the way. I was in attendance.
Look at that throw. Look at that throw.
And I'm falling after this. I fall down like in excitement, and the whole crowd is just going absolutely insane. LaNorris, talk about that moment, man. Like when you threw that first touchdown at South Carolina, the stadium losing their mind. I mean, talk about it, man.
I mean, it felt good. It was like a dream come true for me. Just being a kid, you always want to score, a college game, but just that being the first college game you ever play in, I mean, it's obviously like, I don't know how to explain it. It just felt good. You know what I'm saying?
A surreal moment, right?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, wasn't that like, that wasn't even your read? Like that was like a third read, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
That's insane, man.
That's insane. And so then another play you score on was the Vanderbilt game, right? And getting reps in the actual SEC game. So fast forward to this year, LaNorris, your first SEC true start is on the road at Kentucky. And so what is one thing because you were able to travel, because you traveled to every game, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
What did those environments, seeing those environments and getting feedback from Spencer, throughout the game when he comes out the game, what was that like, and what did that help you with? Now you're going to have to shoulder that going into these games that are
Mhm.
going to be on the road.
I mean, you can't. So the biggest thing is you just can't let the crowd affect you. Honestly, like it's loud everywhere you go. It's
Mhm.
loud at home. It's loud away. So it's like the crowd gonna be there regardless. But you got to go out there and do your job. You got to go out there, focus on getting your team into the end zone, doing what you can to help the team be successful. And the crowd gonna do stuff and say stuff, but they're not out there playing. So it's like y'all can say what y'all want, but we
Correct.
we, we out there doing it. Like so, it's like
He's right. That's 100% right, man. That's
Mm-hmm.
100% right. So, what's one thing in your game that you wanted to improve? Whether that's like when there's certain coverages. So, like in high school, there's certain coverages they're going to run, that you see often, so you'll know what you need to do. But in college, the coverages, they kind of mask them a little bit better. They change a lot. It's very multiple a lot of times. So, what is something that you've gotten to work on in your game that for the season, you're like, hey, I want to make sure I'm able to do this or I'm able to see this. What did that look like?
I'm gonna really just say take what they give you. Don't like, as you say, like skip reads or anything. You
Mhm.
gotta be confident. You gotta anticipate. It's a lot of things that go into it. Know when to run, when to throw. Not making a decision too fast, but not being late because that's when mistakes happen. So I mean, that's just what I've been pretty much focusing on since January.
I love that, man. I love that, man. I love that. Now, tell us about your OC, Dow Loggins, Danger Man himself.
Danger
Danger,
zone, baby.
Danger Man himself, Dow Loggins, man. What's it like playing for Dow Loggins? Because he's one of those guys like you can tell he's a student of the game.
Mhm.
He's very much a guy who wants to make things happen. Tell us about him, not just on the field but off the field. Like what is it like with Dow Loggins?
So D'Lo, I mean, I love D'Lo. I don't know where to start with him. So he's a big family guy. So we've pretty much been around his family a good bit ever since he's got here. Um, and then, never mind, I'm gonna say that. But this being him like on the field, like him as a coach is like, or he's like, you know what I'm saying, like straight business, like straight football. When it's time for football, like it's time for football. But then he's also like a down to earth guy. You can talk to him about any and everything. Like even our meetings, like we meet a good bit, but sometimes in our meetings, it's just like we end up just wandering off. Just one thing, like we could say something about a player, something and lead to a story. The story lead to something else. So it's not just like football, but then it's like all right, we got off tracks. Like, let's get back on it. Just straight back on it. Like, he won't say anything else. He's just straight back to the play, nothing else. Um, and he builds a relationship with all his players too, as well. So, I mean, I love playing for D'Lo. I don't think you get much better than D'Lo. So that's how I feel about him.
Nice.
Yeah, FG and I are big fans of just the way you could tell with some of the schemes and things he was able to put together. And I mean, to me, men lie, women lie, but facts don't.
Hmm.
And the fact of the matter is this, Lenoris, Spencer Rattler had a very good season last year.
Hmm.
We may not have won a lot of games, but statistically, he had a really good season.
Yeah.
And so when you look at that, Dow's putting you guys in very good positions to score the ball.
Hmm.
And so I think that's what fans are looking for this year. And so one of the things I feel like that people aren't accounting for, Lenoris, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you now have been in a system for over a year. And so that means that you know that playbook.
Hmm.
And the luxury behind what you got to do is you got to learn a playbook and see it, you
Yeah.
know, from another point of view. And then you also got to learn under a guy who got drafted and who's actually working to be a starter in the NFL. So when you take all those things into account, Lenoris, and you're looking at season 2, the playbook is pretty open, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it is.
And so I guess that also gives you guys a pretty good advantage because now he has a guy that knows the playbook under center.
Hmm.
So I mean, what does that look like for you in year 2? Is it more just perfecting your craft on what you know in the playbook, or Is there still wrinkles you have to figure out? What does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, with meetings and everything, you get so many reps. It's like you're used to it. Everything you see in the practice, you see it. We going to get our defensive fall camp. So I mean, we install just like a base install every other team does in the winter. And
Mhm.
then after spring practice it gets smaller. Then fall camp it gets smaller. So it's like once once you perfect your best plays, that's the ones you usually take for the season. And then for different looks during the season, you'll probably add a couple things. But other than that, it's still the base game plan. So everybody the base game plan. So it's just like you said, perfecting it and then preparing the right way, honestly, because if you're not prepared, you're not gonna know anyway. But once you get that down, you'll be fine.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, LaNorris, many fans have talked about you showing up for events with your teammates or offensive line and all of that, which, I mean, some schools in times of the past, we may have seen where these guys do these things and they may not show up. But LaNorris, you're there for every event that these guys do, man. Camps, events like CB18 with that
Mhm,
giant wing eating contest, right?
mhm.
Your guys, the guys that block for you, were up there eating wings. Which Shakai Moore, by the way, 20 wings in less than 2 minutes is
It's insane.
absolutely
That's
nuts,
insanity,
dude.
bro. That's insanity, bro.
It's ridiculous,
It
but
should be against the law.
it absolutely. I mean, he was inhaling those things, man. Like, I was watching. I'm like, dude is just killing it. And then Rashawn was over there, and he was close to doing it as well. But saying all that, you're at these events for these guys every time, and look, the talk of the town, or the things that people have been talking about in the offseason, the offensive line. Obviously, what happened last season, injuries all accounted for with 12, 13 different injuries. The offensive line coming in at South Carolina this year. Talk a little bit more about that offensive line as far as what you saw from last year and why and really why it just didn't connect last year. Because look, injuries play a part, right?
Mhm.
And it's something that I don't think fans truly, and not really just fans, but more of the outside like talking heads, right, that don't take an account for. So talk more about what you saw last season and what is going on this offseason with you guys in the offensive line.
Mhm. So I give all my props to the offensive line because with all this bad stuff that did happen, like they still didn't really complain. Like they was like, all
Right.
right, they took it or whatever, and it was like, now we just got to change it. So ever since the season, like I said, they just took it and then they just like worked to get better. Extra beatings, extra field work, like they pretty much stay every day. After we do workouts and stuff for extra field work, during the winter they should stay and do extra comeback meeting at night. May and usually on May you hit the whole month off. The offensive line didn't take the month of May off. They stayed
Mm.
in Columbia the month of May, and even now same thing. Like nothing has changed. They're always willing to do work. Coach
Mhm.
Teasley coming to our meetings. He talked to us all the time, asking questions to D'Lo in the middle of our meetings. So I mean, like they're willing to do the extra work, and so that's why I give all my props to them.
So with that being said, with the injury bug that we got hit with last year, do you feel more confident that we will be ready to if that bug came in the door tomorrow, Illinois? Do you feel this team would still be more ready uh to take on the challenge than we were last year? Because I feel like we got deeper. So therefore
Mhm.
I wanted to make sure, do you
Yeah.
feel like this year we're definitely more ready to take on that kind of challenge?
I do think so. Just the way we preparing our bodies physically as well, not just like you said, but just us being in the weight room and us doing extra work and us bringing more guys along. I think we'll be. I mean, if it happens, we hope and pray it doesn't. But if it
Right.
was to
Yeah.
happen, like we'd
Knock
be
on wood.
fine, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. We're definitely looking at that. And so
Mhm.
Lenoris, let's look at the opposite side. So we had Kai Kroger on, and we were talking a little bit about the defense, and Kai's eyes just got huge, and he was like, "Hey man, y'all ain't see nothing like what we've been seeing in practice,
Yeah.
like those." So talk to us about, is that defense really the hype that everyone has talked about? Because what we saw at the spring game,
Mhm.
I was sitting next to FG. I said, bro, I'm about 2 seconds away from putting that ticket in on FanDuel to say we went into Natty, bro. Like you gonna have to explain something to me. They were flying around, Lenore's like they were flying, bro.
Yeah, it's just like that in practice. Like spring practice, it was like if you like me going in, like I practiced this against it before, but it was just like yo, like
That's
they are flying around. They're all playing on one accord. They're all like close connected, they're all older guys. So I mean, it's like they play ball, they know ball. It's like it's just instincts at that point. It's not just it's above the X's and O's as people would say. So yeah, I agree with Kyle on that one.
Man, man. So you're looking at a team now with we saw the expectations. 4 wins. They ain't gonna make bowl game. All that. You've heard it, LaNorris. We've all seen it.
Mhm.
I ain't worried about that. This is what I'm focused on, LaNorris. What does it when you're looking at Old Dominion right now and you're looking at the team we're about to put out there on the field? LaNorris, is that type of locker room hey man, we want the crown.
Mhm.
We want the crown this year. Like we know what we have in here. We want the crown because you've heard the naysayers. You've heard, man, Beamer's in over his head, all those other things. But I know for you guys love that guy.
Yeah.
Y'all do anything for Beamer. And so I feel like I really want to know, as a group, 85 guys, man, are we ready to run out that tunnel?
I'd say we are. There's just like the mentality's changed just from last year to this year since January. It's just changed. Like all willing to work, just hungry. We don't want that feeling again that we had last year. So it's just like we just got to put everything into it and just prepare and go out there and execute.
I love it. Hey
Mhm.
man, I love it. I love it, man. I love it because you see the depth. I think this year's team has shown you how much depth you guys have. You guys have a lot of depth at a lot of positions. Running back, we were down to what, almost 2 running backs last year.
Yeah.
Now you got 4 or 5 guys that's ready to go. You tight end wise, you got 4 guys that's ready to go. Wide receiver, you got 8, 9 guys that's ready to go. Offensive line, man, the experience that Tree and Trayvon was able to get last year playing all those games, I mean, you can only go up from there.
Hmm.
So when you look at that kind of depth, man, I think we're gonna scare a few people, LaNorris. I really don't think people understand what we're able to bring to the table, man.
Hmm.
And that's why we wanted to keep this going. That's what we want to bring you guys on because I mean we hear about it all the time, but some people just are like, well, you guys are normal guys, so I mean, how do y'all know? But LaNorris, you've seen Dylan Stewart when he gets when he gets between those lines. I
Yeah.
tried to tell folks that man crazy. When he gets between those lines, I mean, there's no stopping Dylan. I've told people what DeAndre Jewels is doing. Like Jewels is going to take up 2 blocks. Like he trying to put his hands on 2 people. And you see how far Tonka has come, how far TJ has come, how far Alex has come now, and now they have depth around them.
Yeah.
Cal Kennard, like a lot of people are not talking about how good Cal was at Georgia Tech and what he's bringing over here. The steps that Desmond Umenzulu has taken, and then, by God, Debo Williams, man, like he tried to take your head off every day. And then the depth that those guys have had, and then the back end is now more experienced with DQ, with Nick, with Jalen Kilgore. Another year for him. He was a freshman last year having to play that position.
Hmm.
And now you see him going into that. I mean, the depth piece has been huge. And I know you could you gotta tell me, bro. I know Clayton White has been smiling ear to ear since he's gotten his team together, man.
Definitely.
Because like I know he's gotta be smiling ear to ear, man. So I'm excited about that, man. I really am. So now that we've addressed that, LaNorris, when you're taking on the reins, what did you have to do this offseason to take that next step as a leader? Because Casey Henry was one person that said that even before he did his interview, me and FG talked to him after the spring game, and I was like, what's different? He said, you see that quarterback we have? I said, yeah, LaNorris. He was like, man, have you ever heard him yell? I said, no, I didn't even know he could yell. He was like, bro, he's out here yelling. He's getting guys hype. He's all this. And so, LaNorris, what did you have to do to take that next step to be that vocal leader?
I mean, there was a process. I won't even lie about that. But I mean, you just got to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I would say the coach staff and the players help put me in those uncomfortable situations, like making me talk in team meetings or hey, call up the huddle, say something to the team, like break the team down or whatever. So I mean, there were just little things like that just you just get used to it after a while. So I mean, that was the biggest thing for me, just being more vocal.
Yeah. Now, LaNorris, keep it on side of the defensive ball real quick. Give me one newcomer that has really impressed you on the field so far.
Let's see. I mean, y'all said Dylan Stewart earlier. I'll say Bengali, D Knight. Those two
Okay.
would be two that I'd say like really stepped up. You know, Gerald Kilgore. All those guys have brought something new to the defense. So
Nice.
it's like not just like the four guys I named, but like I said, everybody we brought in just bring something new. Like Bengali speed was that was when just the spring, just seeing that happen was like I watched how was he moving like that? You know what I'm saying?
We said that about him and Knight. Like Knight came down on a play, and I was like, where did he come from?
Yeah.
I was like, and that's when FG said, nah, I gotta, because what FG will do, he got to take his phone out, and he's like, bro, I gotta start recording stuff because these cats are going, because we haven't seen that speed. LaNorris, like, it's no lie, like, Nick E's a very fast guy.
Yeah.
Bakari Swain is very fast. Emory Floyd is very fast. But for an entire defense as a whole to be that fast, and then that defensive line to be as strong as they are now.
Yeah.
That to me, that changes the narrative and that changes the game. Because now, not only that takes their offense off the field more, and that gives you guys more opportunities to score. And so I know in your mind, you're like, hey, if they're going to be able to do this, I got to make sure our guys over here, do our part. And so it's been, man, I'll tell you, LaNorris, it's been, this spring was one of those, especially after spring game, y'all's faces and y'all are like, I don't care about this right now. I want to suit up against Old Dominion. Like, give me Old Dominion. I feel like y'all would have played them that day. After the spring, y'all would have been like, let's play. So I just love to see that mentality, man, and seeing that fire that Mike Fury brings to the coaching staff. That definitely Sean Elliott, I can't wait to see him headbutting everybody before the game on against Old Dominion. That he loves headbutting somebody. He loves pushing people around. He loves headbutting, and so it's gonna be great to see those type of things to match that. I want to address special teams. So last year, I felt like we took a little step back in special teams, but have you seen them get back on track? With Coach D being in now.
They have just the energy he brings as well. Very engaging, very in touch with the players, meetings and everything. I mean, just the way he runs is efficient. They're all together. They all know what they're doing. They're all preparing in their own like separate ways or whatever. But I mean, just it's changed. We've seen a lot change. They're just more like them.
I love it. Now, LaNorris, NCAA football's coming out. And it seems you lost a quarterback battle on Road to Glory. So, LaNorris, how did you lose this quarterback battle? The fans want to know because we ended up 1-6, LaNorris, at the time that we saw the screenshot. And we're playing 3-5 Texas A&M. We're down. And, LaNorris, we don't see you. And so we want to know, man, what happened, bro? How did this happen, LaNorris? What happened between you and King, bro? How did King win the job, bro?
I don't know. I was in the team meeting. It was like, hey, did you opt out of the game? I was like, I thought I was in, but I mean, like, got benched or something. I don't know.
You gotta talk to Shane, man. you gotta go talk to Shane. What happened, man? What happened, bro? Yeah, man. But are you excited for the game, man? Are you excited for it to come out?
I am excited. I'm ready for it to come out. I don't know the exact date it came. I know it's for early releases out Monday. But,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's all pretty much we've been talking about. Just the game coming out, ready to play it.
And now you, as an adult, bro, you get to play it. Like as a kid, you have to make yourself in the game, and now you're in there, LaNorris. You're there. You're there. You're there. So, man, what's the first play you gonna run, bro?
Depends on how I'm feeling that day. I don't know yet.
That man run the quarterback draw. He ain't trying to say it, FG. He gonna run the quarterback draw, bro. He's running the quarterback draw, bro. He gonna run the same one he ran against Vandy, bro. And just took off.
Yeah, no, everybody, man. I haven't had this game over 10 years, man. And Q and I grew up, going to midnight release for college football for it to drop, and we'd run into former players there. And man, it was just a time because the only way you could get that game is going to show up because they didn't have to, your copies, your downloads, and all that. You had to be physical copies. So I mean, I'm ecstatic. I mean, as everybody else is. Are you guys going to do like a tournament or something within the team? Y'all going to do like a dynasty or something? What y'all got going on?
I mean, I don't know. We probably won't get another break off for a little minute. We got the week off for 4th of July, so we probably just straight working in the fall camp. But I'm sure like on the weekends, we're not doing nothing, just on some downtime off. I'm sure we have something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, I'll be honest, man. Like, I've been in the ops building, bro, and I don't know how y'all stay away from like not messing with the stuff y'all got in there. Because the ops building's fire, bro. There's so much cool stuff in that building, bro. Like,
it's a lot of difference. It's a lot of stuff in there. I mean, but you get in there, we get in at 6. It's like you get in there at 6, you got to work out. You start to work out at 6:30, 7 o'clock. So it's like you get in there, then you done from the workout. It's like, all right, I'm ready to go home now. Then it's like. But
makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense, man. That does make sense. And so, now that we've gotten to that point, man, Norris, what do you have to tell Gamecock Nation about like what they're looking forward to this season, man? They want to hear from their leader, bro. So what do you have for Gamecock Nation, bro?
I'll just say it'll be an exciting season.
That's it, man. A man of the people. A man of the people, man. A man of the people. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, no, we're excited for the season, man. Now, since you've been in Columbia, rattle off some of your favorite restaurants in Cola so far that you've experienced.
So number one, I'll say goes to Jack Brown, the burger spot, 5 Points.
Okay.
That's a good
Home Team, Back Streets.
Okay.
Any of those 3 are always a go-to. Like you hungry, like you go there. If it's not fast food, you don't like eating fast food, but it's like you go to those spots and like it's always good. Always go hit the spot. Tsunami's another one. Those spots that you can't go wrong with either.
Yeah, Tsunamis is good. Now country cooking wise, Q's gonna ask it.
I want to know: have you been to Lizard's Thicket?
A couple years ago, never went back. But
why? Why have you?
I mean, it's just not. It's nothing wrong with Lizard's Thicket. When I had it, it was good, but it's just like I just like never went back. It's not bad. It's just not a spot I'd be like, all right, like let's go to Lizard's Thicket. Like it's just not one of those spots.
It's not your forte. I feel. You know what I mean?
I'm hurt. I'm hurt. He may not be hurt. I'm hurt. I was convinced that you were going to be able to say. What about Rushes?
Never been.
Bernie's?
Never been.
LaNorris, that's right by the stadium, bro.
I know.
That's like right there, my man.
Bojangles? Like I'm getting kind of worried here.
I've been to Bojangles.
Okay. Whoo! I was worried about that, bro. We gotta get you some Rushes, bro. So we're gonna have to get some Rushes. We're gonna have to link up. We're gonna have to get some Rushes, bro. Because this is not okay. And you need to go to Lizard's Thicket in the morning. Their breakfast is fire.
Yeah.
Their breakfast is fire. I love Lizard's Thicket all the time, but if I had to suggest a time, definitely morning. 100% definitely morning.
It's a good time to go, man. Mornings is solid with Lizard's Thicket. I mean, you really can't go wrong with the stuff they do there. I mean, and overall, the food's just great. I mean, Columbia, South Carolina, low-key has a really strong, like, food scene. Honestly, they do. Hunter Rogers says, hey, Lenore, so he says hello to you.
Hey, do you, what about other sports? Like, do you guys get to go to other games? Like, have you gotten to go to other sports games?
We've been to some basketball games. Let's see, what else have we been to? I think basketball is honestly the only other sports game I've personally been to. Basketball.
Like both boys and girls?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because they be hooping. Don had that team hooping.
Yeah.
Don,
and even if we can't go to the games, like we all just get together and watch a game. So it's like.
Oh, so y'all watched the Natty when they were in the Natty?
We watched it. Yeah, we did. We watched it.
Okay. How do you feel about? Have you ever seen Coach Paris with his quarter zips out? Have you seen
I've
Coach Paris with
seen,
his
yeah, I have.
bro? Do you see how hot it be and he still wear those quarter zips, man? My man's the truth, man. He's the truth. He gonna stay him.
It's not
I
a
don't know.
bit, bro. It's 100 degrees outside. I've seen Lamont outside the facility, and he's
And it's a
wearing the
black one
quarter
too.
zip.
It's not even
Yeah,
like the white one. It's the
yeah.
black one. Like it's absorbing all the
Like
sun, bro.
black on black, bro. Like black
Mhm.
quarter zip, black pants. Like I'm like, bro, it's him.
And
It's
and
his
and chilling.
identity.
And it's chilling. Lenoris, he just be chilling. Like, what's up, guys? Like, what? You're not hot, bro. I'm hot looking at you. So
And speaking,
okay.
speaking identity too. Obviously, that's his. The specs, bro. That's your identity. That is things that everybody's come with you. I mean, it's kind of like with Chase Blankenship when he was at Georgia, when he was the kicker over at Georgia,
Mhm.
right? That was his identity. Where his specs. When did that start for you? Did you always have them in high school or through middle school?
So it was kind of like a work in progress. My freshman year in high school, I didn't wear anything, and then I wore
Okay.
just glasses with a strap on them. Then my junior year, I finally got the goggles,
Okay.
and ever since then, I just pretty much worn them.
That's it. That's it.
That's
That's how
who
you
who
got
else wore goggles? Was it Kareem? It
Yeah.
was like Kareem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kareem,
That man
yep,
had the
he did.
Kareems on. Hey man. Do they fog up, bro? Like how do you make sure they don't fog up or nothing?
I got some fog spray that came with them that our trainers make sure they ordered a good bit of it. So I just put that on, and it's fine.
I believe it.
Yeah,
I believe it.
I had a question come in on that actually. They wanted to know how you're able to run through that for that touchdown while it was raining against Vanderbilt last season.
Mhm.
So, but that makes sense. It's it's set up for that.
Yeah. I mean, they make sure it don't fog up. I make sure it don't fog up. Any chance I even feel like it's probably fogging up, hey, I need some more of that stuff. Just put it on, and it's fine.
Okay.
Oh, good. So it works for a good second. Like if you have to do a drive, you're able to go through the drive and then go
Yeah.
back and spray some more on and stuff. Okay.
Honestly, if I put it on, like it's pretty much just fine. So
Okay.
it's like you just put it on and you're good.
I like that. Ah,
Nice,
man, that's
nice.
hey. Well, that answers the question, folks. He will not be out there blindly throwing the football. He won't.
Yep.
He won't.
That's it. Now, LaNorris, I did just have one of your former teammates now that's in the NFL, Marion Brown. He actually just hit me up. He wanted to talk about what you have to offer at South Carolina. He told me, he said LaNorris has a special arm talent that many don't talk about. He has legs that obviously are out of this world, and he thinks that you're going to be a quarterback that's going to get mentioned after you get a couple games under your belt here soon. So. Hey, that's from AB. I'm down with the Cleveland Browns now, so shout out to him. And look, I mean, these guys. I talked to Spencer at the Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama, back in February, and we had that conversation about you. We're like, Spencer, tell me about LaNorris, man. Like he's the next guy coming up, and dude, Spencer couldn't say enough, man. Like he's ecstatic for you, your future. So I mean, these guys, man, that played with you, they love you. You know what I mean?
Your teammates love you, bro. That much I promise you. We haven't ran into a guy. Debo was saying the same thing. He was like, bro, LaNorris, like, man, hey, he just gets it. He gets it. And that's what we want Gamecock Nation to have. Like, we got you guys, bro.
Mhm.
That's one thing you ain't got to worry about. We tell this story all the time, bro. There was a time that we were 0-11 and still selling out that stadium, bro.
Mhm.
0-11. Like we lost to New Mexico State type 0-11, bro. Like that.
Yeah.
That's what you're on. You're gonna always have fans there, like you said, LaNorris. It's just all about execution this year, man. I'm ready for you guys to shock the world.
Mhm.
I'm personally ready for it, man. I can't express it enough. I am 100%. At first, I was like, well, I'll watch. I'll watch the first game on TV. But then Kai Kroger came on. Well, first the spring game happened. That's what the first thing happened was the spring game.
Mhm.
Then Kai Kroger came on here and was like, hey, man, you just got to see it to believe it. Then when Debo came on here, I was like, I'll see y'all. I told FG, I said, bro, I'll see you at the stadium, bro. I'll see you at the stadium first game because I'm thoroughly excited, man. I really cannot wait for you guys to prove the doubters wrong.
Mhm.
I know you guys have heard it. You guys are on social media. You hear it all the time. We've gone to 16 teams. We're number 15 or we're number 14. Well, the highest I've seen is 13.
Mhm.
Come on now. That's all you can say. I was like, y'all got it. Y'all got it. Let's see what happens. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, no, LaNorris, we appreciate you, man, coming on, hopping on the show with us. I mean, it's something that a lot of fans have been waiting for, to hear the man himself on the mic to talk about his time at South Carolina. My final thing for you before we wrap this thing up on my end is go ahead and give me your favorite moment so far being at South Carolina. What has that favorite moment been for you so far here?
Um, let's see. For like personally, probably my first touchdown, but as a team, probably the Kentucky win.
Okay.
Mm,
Just the energy in the stadium, it was
Oh, it
that
was
was crazy.
insane.
Yeah.
it was
The
unmatched.
root in town, bro. Like, and that was something in itself, man.
Yeah.
having the man of Sandstorm, the creator, DJing right there next to DJ I am.
Hmm.
That was, oh man, what a moment that was, and the win was just, yeah,
Oh,
what a
I
night.
I just thought of something else. So with NIL, so we talked a lot about NIL with Kilgore and all them, and Jalen had a very interesting statement uh, about NIL. So I've always wanted to gather your thoughts, like LaNorris, with the way the game goes nowadays. You can jump in and out of the portal. Teams can offer whatever they want to offer, and all those different things. What makes you want to stay and be loyal to a team and be that guy for the team? With all the things that can go on. Because anytime, Loris, you had the skill set. I remember guys in the off season, uh, from a couple of big time schools were like, man, I'm just waiting on your quarterback to get in the portal so we can go grab him
Hmm.
because we want him. But all that. So what makes you stay and be loyal to that, and be loyal to Shane and all those, and stay and be loyal to Gamecock Nation, man.
I feel like the relationships, honestly, like I feel like you got to be dependable. You can't just like if something better comes along, you can't just get up and what I'm saying, go and chase it. Or because if you get there, then it's like, dang, well, I was supposed to get this and I don't got it. So now what? Now you stuck there. So it's like you might as well just stay where you at, build those relationships. Because like once you start building those relationships, other things that start coming along with that. You start meeting more
Mm-hmm.
people, and it's just like you can get what you want at the place you're at. You don't have to go to another place to find.
Agreed.
It's always gonna be there. So it's like there's no point to chasing it around. You know what I'm saying? So
I love it. I love it. And you're correct. You're correct because this is
Yeah.
not just a 4-year ordeal. This is a 40-year ordeal.
mhm.
If you've seen quarterbacks that come before you, Connor Shaw, I don't think he's paid for a meal since he's left South Carolina.
So yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And they're always going to show you love. Carolina's a place, growing up in South Carolina, we don't have a pro football team.
hmm
So your allegiance usually is to one or the other school.
hmm
And whatever school your allegiance to, that school, man, that school takes care of you.
hmm
If you
For
play for them,
life.
they take care of you for life, man.
For life.
Yeah, you rep that school and they'll take care of you, man. They'll take care of you, man. So that's a good way to look at it, man. And like I said, I'm glad to have you, bro. We're glad that you're on our team, bro.
We
That
we
much
we
I can promise
100%
you.
are. We 100% are. And, Q, you did bring up something real quick, before we ended up. Lenoris, you've been around Connor Shaw a lot.
hmm
You've been around him a lot. Tell me, or being around him, has he given you any insight, advice, or anything like that? Since working with, being around Connor at all.
Yes. I mean, he just played. He's won games. I mean, it's just like you got to do you. Bring your team along with you. Do whatever it takes. Be prepared for any and everything. I mean, bad things will happen. Y'all know he had a couple of injuries, stuff like
Hmm.
that. But I mean, you got to have a plan. You got to be ready to get back from it. Just, I mean, focus on the good, honestly. So
I love it. I love it. I
That's
love
it,
it,
man.
man. We
That's it.
appreciate you. You got anything else, Lenores?
I'm good. If y'all
Man,
good.
well, we good, man. We appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, Lenoris, we appreciate you hopping on the show, guys. We appreciate y'all tuning in, listening live with us at the Welcome H Pod. Make sure you follow Lenoris if you're not already following him on Twitter, Instagram. You can find him there. You can rate and review the show at the Welcome H Pod on Spotify and Apple. You can also follow the different social media with us at Welcome H Pod on Instagram, on Twitter. You can follow Famously Garnet on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. We appreciate y'all listening. We'll see you next time.
Peace.